Remove yourself from male validation. Remove yourself from being validated by men. Stop seeking male validation. Stop seeking male approval. Stop thinking, because male approval comes with then being seen as a woman to the eyes of a man. So thus, this being seen, he deems you as perfect in turn of you getting married to him. So it's you understanding that no, you don't need to be seen through the eyes of a man. Not at all. You can be a woman and maintain yourself as being a woman and being seen as being seen by other women as powerful, strong, and courageous, and amazing and perfect, right? And being seen in the boardrooms as guru, or in whatever niche that you are in, and to fill up those spaces. But the idea is for you to understand that as a gorgeous son, you need to decenter men, and also you need to understand that you as a woman, you hold power, ability to give birth, right? You hold the power. You have the ability to give birth. You have the ability to create in your womb, and no man can ever do that. They can plant a seed, of course, but they can never go through those 9 months that harsh labor, right? That women go through in the labor ward. So the chat is, you need to understand that you don't need male validation to exist as a woman. It's that simple. It's a new generation. As quite as generational depression in sorry.
Just be an okay lady. Like, don't depend too much on a man, especially emotionally. Like, you need to be secure within yourself so much so that you believe in yourself that much, that you are that girl, you are that lady, you can do all of that. Okay? So don't ever let anyone tell you what you cannot do, what you will not do, how to present yourself as a lady, right? Be secure in yourself, love yourself, be the most authentic version of yourself to your best ability, right? Don't ever think that you have to bow down to a man. You can, but usually people who don't have any backbone, they get played the most, they get played so hard. So careful of that. I won't talk too much on this. I don't have the energy to talk today, but you get my point. Like, just be consistent with your thing yourself.
I think where the decentering men conversation falls flat is that I think we expect women to decenter men without providing the necessary support systems so that they could be able to do that safely. Why is safety an important thing? Safety is an important thing because A, most men don't deal very well with being decentered, especially if they were once centered. A lot of them, they don't deal, nicely or leniently. They will not deal with you leniently for decentering them, right? Because decentering them is also an experience for them as it is for you, right? When you are decentering them, they know, they can feel it. And unfortunately, because we already know the fact that we live in a country where men aren't really encouraged to have any form of emotional intelligence, a lot of them don't know. They don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to express that disappointment, except through aggression and violence. And an example of what I mean when I say men don't deal well with being decentered is the whole conversation around cheating. I've heard so many people say, oh no, God created men and women differently. This is why men just can't deal with cheating. Women are different. Women can take cheating. With men, it's different. God just made us different. And I'm always like so weirded out by that, that sentiment, because it assumes that God would create a being that is inherently degenerate, which is weird. But also, it assumes that the aggression that men exhibit after being cheated on is justified, which I highly disagree with. I strongly disagree with that sentiment. But where I want to go with the cheating conversation is that the reason why men struggle with cheating, with their woman cheating on them, is not because they are inherently aggressive. It's not because they were created to not be able to do that. The reason why they struggle with that is that when their partner cheats on them, they are forced to grapple and acknowledge the fact that they are not the center of her universe, right? And like there are multiple examples of this that I could give you. For instance, another example is, why do you think we have what we call correctional rape? Why do you think there's such, things that are being done in our country by men, and they're doing these things to lesbian women? It is primarily because the lesbian woman, okay, by virtue of the fact that she is attracted to other women, has decentered men. And correctional rape is men's attempt at recentering themselves in her narrative, in her sexual narrative, right? That is an example of when women decenter men, and how violent men are willing to become as a form or as a way of recentering themselves in a woman's narrative. This is why, like in the beginning, I said, I feel like we talk about it all the time, but the truth of the matter is that we don't have enough systems that are going to be supportive of women as they do this, so that they can be able to do it safely. We've already, articles ago, I think we all gathered, and we came to understand that rape was never about the sex itself, but rape was actually about power. And then we must interrogate the power dynamics in correctional rape settings, right? And all it is men feeling insecure because the vulnerability that heterosexual women have by virtue of being attracted to men, that vulnerability cannot be found in lesbian women because they're not attracted to men. And so that in and of itself is a form of decentering. And the correctional rape is an attempt at recentering, where men are attempting to recenter themselves in the narratives of women, right? And of course, guys, I know that, these issues are very nuanced, perhaps a lot more nuanced than what I'm explaining, But I just want to look at it from the perspective of centering and decentering. Of course, we know that they correctional rape male presenting women for different reasons from female presenting women, So yes, of course, they are nuanced. And then the final stamp of the recentering becomes the femicide, right? That is the ultimate attempt at men centering themselves and recentering themselves in the lives of women. Because if your life is not going to be about me, your death will. If your life is not going to be about me or centered around me, your death will. Your last moments on earth will be centered around me, will be centered around you begging for your life, right? So yeah, a decentering men is great, but it is also dangerous business, especially in this country.